In this video, we're going to draw this cute mushroom that is patterned behind a pattern that I made for the little embroidery that you see to the left here that I show you a little close-up of. So I made a pattern originally, so I'll show you how I drew the pattern, and then I will show you how to color it in if you want to just keep it in Procreate. So we're going to start with the Monoline Pencil. I have it in my go-to brushes folder, but you can also find it in the calligraphy section. I make sure my streamline is turned all the way up just so I have really clean lines and I have a lot of control. So we're going to start with an oval. And sorry, my table is a little shaky. We're going to make it a little bit bigger, long press, or press with another finger to make it perfect. And then I'm going to adjust it and just make it a little bit shorter. You could make it bigger or smaller per your preference. Then we're going to add the little mushroom cap. You can make it more symmetrical. I kind of like it asymmetrical. And then I end up redoing this because I want it in a different layer because I changed my mind. So add a new layer, and then we're going to have this arch, and it's going to be the top of our stem, kind of like what connects the stem to the cap or the top of the mushroom. So I edited that a little bit, just made it a little bit shorter of an arch, and then I did several tries of the stem. I wanted it to be asymmetrical as well, and where I did the top part separate, I have to be careful. Like, I want the lines to be really clean. I don't want it to be like chunky where they meet up. So it takes me a couple tries to get it. I ended up kind of rounding that one edge, making the other a little bit straighter. And then we'll clean it up just a little bit with the eraser, kind of dip into both sides, and then go over it again. When you look from far away, you can't really tell. Then we'll go back to our first layer and erase that little part. And then we're going to add some lines. You could go without this part technically if you wanted to, but I like adding the little lines for a little extra detail. So I have them going out of the top, just kind of in a radial pattern, I guess. And then the bottom ones kind of come out like the bottom part as if they're kind of more towards the back because of the depth that you want. I wasn't making them perfect lines because I was being impatient, so we went back and redid some of them. Long hold to make it a perfect line. As you can see, I pause a little bit after most of them. Long pause, let it be perfect. And a little line there. Now we're going to do the circles on top of the cap. And I like the way perfect circles look, so that's what we're going to do. But you could technically do imperfect circles. So I'm going to do a new layer so it's easy to erase. And I'm going to use my other finger to make it a perfect circle, and then I'll size it. If I need to fix it a little bit, I'll do the shape, perfect shape at the top. And we're going to do that 4 times. Speed this up a little bit. And then we'll go to we'll stay in this layer and erase. This is why I kept it in a separate layer so I wouldn't erase like the edge of the cap and have to redo it or what have you. It just makes it easier. So that's basically our mushroom. If you wanted to, like I did on my pattern, like you could add little blades of grass and little flowers behind it as another option. And basically that's how you draw the pattern. Now we're going to add some color. So we're going to add a new layer all the way down at the bottom. And that just makes it easy to color so I don't have to worry about coloring inside the lines necessarily. I can just color behind them. I'm going to pick a color palette. We're going to go with a darker red and kind of like a pinky cream color for the circles. So I'm just going to basically trace around this and then color drop into it just because that seemed like it was the easiest option other than if I were to use the reference tool and color drop into it, which I could have also done. And then we'll color drop, and then we'll do the same thing for the pink circles, the under part of the cap, and the stem. So this is like kind of a pinkier color, and we'll color drop that in, fix the lines. Makes it really nice not having to worry about coloring inside the lines. And if I wanted to do these all at once, I could have traced them and then color dropped and used the refill option at the top there, but we just did them one at a time. Now we're going to do like a light brown color for the bottom And I could technically add more depth to this and do like different colors underneath, but it's more of a cartoony option anyway, so we're going to do one color. Okay, now so we're going to add some depth to it. We are going to add a new layer on top of that and make it a clipping mask. And then we'll go to the masks, layer masks, and go to overlay. And then we're going to do a light, you'll do like light gray. And this will make it so it's a highlighted color, a highlighted version of the color, so you can see that it's lighter. And it works on a grayscale, so if you did like a darker gray, it would show up either as the same, or if it's like a super dark gray, it would show up as lighter. So we're just going to add a little bit of depth. You could even add a little bit of depth to each circle if you wanted to. I just wanted to add some to the little parts of it. And then we did the darker gray, a little bit of a shadow for underneath on the cap part. And I kind of just have it blend into the line. I don't want like a stark line. I was like, oh, I could do that, but I didn't like how that looked. So we're just going to do, we'll just shade it a little bit underneath there. Took me a couple of times to blend it into the line and just have it come out seamlessly. Okay, and then we're going to do the other side. And then I think I just added a little highlight at the bottom, or I already did that. So basically, that's usually how I add highlights and shadows. I wasn't really worried about putting them in like the proper places for like where the light source was. I just wanted a little something to add a little bit more depth to it. And then I think we change the background from here and we add a little bit of the grass and the flowers. And we'll do the same thing that we did with the highlights and shadows to the flowers, just to like practice that skill. So the layer is going to go on top, just so we can have all the little beads of grass on top. Just throw them kind of all over the place, kind of let them crisscross each other. And then we're going to another layer all the way at the back, so I can just draw the little flowers behind. We'll draw the stems. And then find kind of like a light pinky color that kind of goes with the rest of the color scheme. I basically took the pink color from the circles and made it darker. And then I'm going to make a new layer on top of that because I am going to add highlights and shading, and it just makes it easier. So basically I'm going to draw just this little 3-petaled flower. It's basically just a blob that meets together at the bottom. And then we'll make a new layer, clipping mask it, overlay. And we'll do the same thing. So a light gray. I tried white and then I was like, oh, that's not right. Whoops. A light gray is what we want. And we'll add that just kind of to the top left of each one of the flowers, just to add a little bit more interest to the eye. You could also do this with a texture brush. I like doing texture with my highlights and shadows, but this one I just kept using the same monoline brush just to make it easy and simple. And now we're going to do the dark gray. I clicked black at first, and then I was like, nope, black won't work. And then it was too light of a gray, so we had to kind of find the right balance. Sometimes it works better than others. Like a certain color gray will work really well with one color, but not so much with another. So sometimes it's trial and error. But basically, that is our little mushroom with our flowers. Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful, feel free to let me know or tell me what I could do to make it even better for you in the future.